One of the reasons that people say woke instead of antichrist is because they do it for a political reason. Now, people like Ron DeSantis was one of the first people to use the woke agenda phrase from the very beginning. And I never saw it then. Until then, I was wondering about it, and then the Lord was trying to reveal it to me, or asking the Lord to reveal this mystery to me. And they do it to win the crowd that is of this world over to their political party, to supposedly get people to their political party by doing worldly reasonings, standing up for good morals instead of standing up for Jesus Christ directly. You need to be standing up for Jesus directly instead of just standing up for Christian morals, or doing that thinking, or they do it because they think that if they stand up for Christian values, then you're doing this to defend God. But it's all done for the name of politics instead of standing up for Jesus. But it's also done to basically, it's also done because they're ashamed of standing up for Jesus. They're ashamed of Jesus Christ because they don't know Jesus, and also they are too afraid to defend for him, and they would rather defend Donald Trump. Because yes, he has been through many trials and tribulations, but should that mean we should stand up for someone 99% more than defending Jesus 1%? Because the woke agenda, which is antichrist, however, you find the same people that are against antichrist stuff are the same people that defend antichrist things that God opposes. Like, for example, parents are so worried about kids being sexualized and being shown sexually oriented things, but yet the parents will have no problem switching on, like, say, a movie like The Avengers, where yes, there's some sexual innuendo in there, but there's a lot of violence, there's a lot of witchcraft, sorcery, mystical things, and they have no problem with that. So, do you see the deception of why it's antichrist, not woke, and why the word woke, you shouldn't be opposed to that? You should be opposed to all things that is antichrist. This was something last night that I'd thought of, and I posted on Facebook. And a lot of Christian parents would just suck their teeth at the idea of, no, these woke teachers, these woke Democrats are doing what's evil by sexualizing our kids to chop off their body parts and to make them transgender or to accept homosexual things and to abort their babies. But then yet they're not doing the things that parents are supposed to be doing, raising their kids. These anti-wokers are not even raising their own kids. Now, some of them are, but they're not doing it with the love of Christ, with the actual correct discipline. Parents are not doing the job that they are expected to do in the eyes of the Lord. And that is why many parents, whether you are anti-woke or supporting Democrat policies or not, or whatever it may be, if your kid becomes the next mass shooter, or becomes suicidal and kills themselves, or rapes somebody, or if they become a pedophile, or if they become somebody that is just a lazy couch potato, that parent, that sin is held against that parent. Because if parents are to say, well, we're not responsible for one individual's sin, now that is right. But however, if you let your kids become what they watch on the television, like the influencers, if you let your kids become like the influencers on Instagram, like Kim Kardashian, even Republican influencers, then, and they end up falling after apostasy and they end up in hell, you, parent, will find yourself in hell because you let your kid be raised up by the world instead of you raising your kid out of righteousness and holiness. And even with parents, you guys, parents must be under the authority of Christ. Christ is the head of the marriage, the husband, the wife, and then the kids. So be watchful, you guys. And if you are a parent watching this video, you need to raise your kids right. Raise your kids right. Otherwise, you will find yourselves in the judgment of God before his throne, or even yet, you will end up finding yourselves having the judgment of God against you on earth through the government, through the law system. Like 2 separate families already have been already. Like in Michigan with the Oxford shooting, and now a father of a kid who shot up a school in Georgia. Those parents are gonna have the wrath of God through the law against them until they repent. Now, if they repent in prison, which I would hope they would, then they will still have to go through the consequence of their actions. Don't find yourself in this position. And now every situation is different. But you need to be very, very careful how you raise your kids and what you let them watch and who you let them hang out around. So, are you a parent that raises your kids right? Or are you going to be someone who is defending half the sins but then yet against half the other sins? Don't be an anti-woker. Be an antichrist speaker that speaks against the antichrist spirit and speaks and defends for Jesus when the opportunity comes right. May Jesus bless you.